I'm saying there are 700,000 people on 0 hours contracts. Could you live on one?
No, look, as I said,
Could
some
you
people...
live on one?
Well, I want to create a country where more people have the opportunity of the full-time work that they want.
Could you live on a 0 hours contract?
Well, look, that's not the question. The question is...
Well, it's the question I'm asking.
Well, yeah,
you sound gloomy most of the time. Are things really so bad?
No, but they could be a lot better. and that is the big argument of this election.
And we've seen the minimum wage increase now above inflation for the first time in many years. And I want to see that minimum wage go through £7, on to £8.
I'm not going to win a contest for who looks best eating a bacon sandwich. I think we can all agree about that. And
he's not happy with your answer. They're shaking heads and all sorts of things.
Right,
so can we get a microphone there, sir?
Well, look, can I just make this one point and then I'll do it
very
from the
quickly,
gentleman.
if you would.
Look, what I stand for, what I think matters in politics, is ideas to change the country, principles, sticking to your principles when you've got powerful opponents like the energy companies or the banks or Rupert Murdoch, and frankly, decency. You know, reaching out to people who are the most vulnerable in our society.
OK.
How much money have you borrowed?
Well, we have cut the budget deficit in half as a share of GDP.
How much money have you borrowed?
Well, look, the key thing is the amount of money you borrow every year, the deficit.
Do you know what it is?
That is down in half. I know that we have borrowed a lot of money because the deficit adds to your debt every year.
Do you know what the figure is?
Well, you're going to tell me, Jeremy, presumably.
I am. My question was, did you borrow too much? You think, no, you didn't borrow too much. Did you spend too much? Some programmes, perhaps.
Now you're asking yourself questions.
Isn't it? Oh, well, I'm trying to summarise your position according to the questions you've been asked rather than the questions you've asked yourself.
I love our NHS. It has done amazing things for my family. I will never forget taking my desperately ill young son, Ivan, to hospital night after night, getting into A&E, getting amazing treatment, everything that they gave him. I want to make sure that that is always there for families in our country.
The point is, people think you're just not tough enough.
Well, let me tell you, right? Let me tell you. OK.
Come on.
Let me tell you.
What we need is a reform of the European Union and then a referendum where the British people, not me, but the British people watching at home, they have the choice in an in-out referendum by the end of 2017.
I was called into a room by David Cameron and Nick Clegg because President Obama had been on the phone, the leader of the free world, right? I listened to what they said, and over those days I made up my mind and we said no, right? Now, I think standing up to the leader of the free world I think shows a certain toughness, I would say.
Are you proud of what's happened in Syria since?
I'm not proud of it, no. It's a failure of the international community. But what I'm not going to do is repeat the mistakes of the 2003 Iraq War, which happened when Labour was in power.
After that, 10 years, 2 terms, I think politicians do have a date by which they need to say, well, I think it's time for someone else to take over. I'm not some person who thinks that you're indispensable.
I'm not a pacifist, so I did support action in Libya, and David Cameron talked about how I supported action against ISIS. But am I tough enough? Hell yes, I'm tough enough.
Do you think...